Greetings to all the past, present people, and well wishers of Don Bosco Institution. As we celebrate together with the Salesians 75 years of their existence on the tiny spot of India called Goa. After completing my initial in Portuguese, I joined Don Bosco from 1954 to 1960. That is from first standard to 7th standard. At that time, SSC was in the 7th standard. Thus becoming the last batch to go to Bombay in order to appear for SSC conducted by the Pune board by crossing Goa border to Karwar and thereafter to Bombay. For me this was first time, either by train or ship. A very memorable adventure where we had the privilege of being VIPs of the Government of India, at whose cost we had free sightseeing trip to see posh areas of Bombay next day after the last paper. Maybe this was a part of their propaganda. Now with a wonderful modern Don Bosco educational structure. As a background, I was going through the book Stalwarts of Goa, and it was the backside cover of the book, God's Gift to Panjim. Brought some nostalgic memories of the 7 years I spent in this institution as a day scholar, boarder, playing, fighting, crying, laughing, calling out nicknames, and all sorts of mischiefs which a youth of that time can think of. Even now when we meet, we pull each other's legs with these names. Every day my adventure with Don Bosco started at about 7:30 a.m. Either walking or cycling from Karanzale to Don Bosco. Some even started earlier as they were putting up at Dona Paula. All the way robbing all sorts of fruits from compound whichever we come across. Thus this went on for 5 years as I spent 2 years as aspirant, or they used to call me a Latinist at that time. At that time, the school was in the newly constructed building by the side of the Nalla, running parallel to the compound road. Later this building was used for aspirants' residence and study hall, and the classroom was shifted in a house between boarding house and workshop consisting of carpentry, printing press, mechanical workshop. Besides playground and a few structures for schools, boarding, chapel, the entire area was full of greenery, consists of mangoes, bananas, coconut trees. It was here during my boarding days. As a work, recreation activity, we had 2 hours of manual work such as land clearing, digging, gardening, leveling, and sanitation work, which later in my life helped me to realize the dignity of labor. Sometime on Sundays, holidays, we were taken for outings, either to Dona Paula for swimming by Father Mariota or Father McClinchy, or sometime for movies reflecting on Bible stories. As part of the extracurricular activities, we have Mocidad Portuguese, similar to the present NCC, with khaki pants, green shirt, shoe belt embossed with S, and a khaki cap, more or less resembling Gandhi topi. March past was a regular, every fortnight was a regular phenomenon, with left-right, in Portuguese they used to call it esquerda-direita, where I remember Mr. Inacin Arauz as Commandant de Bandeira. There was always an annual outing for all Goa students to all Goa on 15 August, where songs were sung to exhibit patriotism by erstwhile regime. All this function always got winded up by singing the Portuguese national anthem, Heróis do Mar, and all this Viva Portugal and all those things. Of course, it is there, that time it was there, that is the way of expressing, finding out how patriotic we are maybe. Besides regular play, mostly football, we were taught other trade like bookbinding, where I had the opportunity to do binding, cutting work on Father Carreno's book, God in the Mirror. Hair cutting, mending umbrellas, shoes were other trades we were made familiar. 1950s were tough time for Don Bosco institution to take care of stomachs of hundreds of boarders. At the time, Goa was reeling under economic blockade. At that time, one brother Kuzini by name was managing the kitchen. At that time, besides rice, we nicknamed it as HTP Haren Toram Papade as a regular menu, followed by a thick slurry made of chana and curry for dinner, which we nicknamed as Borboren. Some of the boys were so poor, almost half of them could not pay the regular fees, boarding charges. I remember one brother Lokateli who came with Father Kasti, rushing to the medical hospital to donate blood. And out of that money, he got a new football for the boys to play. Through this incident, I came to know what is love, compassion, humility, kindness, which I always cherish in my memories. In fact, the Salesian fathers were always self-sacrificing ones. And I don't think this is the first time I saw a priest, a brother, whoever it is, going all out to help the boys. And what better memories I can have than this. As a day scholar residing at Karanzalem, I will not forget the trips I enjoyed in a village jeep with Father Karan on the wheel and Father Kajitan Lobo, principal at the time, every Sunday to Orshel to serve as an altar boy. At that time, the trip was to the road back of the Taligaon church, which was very bumpy on account of the rocky terrain. During my boarding days, some of my companions were late Father Romulo Noronha, Franco Saldana, Socrates Carvalho, the famous footballer. Among the teachers, besides Father Kajitan Lobo, I remember late Father Olivio Miranda, to teach us history geography, late Father Ernest Saldanha, to teach us Portuguese, which was a compulsory, otherwise we could not go for our SSC. So 1 year in the evening we had to remain in the classroom to study prima grau. Then Father Corcoran, who used to teach us Latin, because I took Latin as a second language, and secondly, I had some other motive behind it, but God could not fulfill it. Then Sir Thomas, Sir Akshikar, both of my maths teacher, and Sir Poi, Hindi teacher. Before I conclude about my teachers, I should never forget Mr. Akshikar, a maths teacher, whose style of teaching was unique for me. And that style I think I have picked up while dealing with the boys right from SSC to the engineering level. I remember an incident during the days when Satyagrahis were treated like modern day terrorists. One Mr. Pandey in Dhoti Kurta happened to join as a Hindi teacher. Through Father Victor de Souza, with the help of my uncle, arranged accommodation to Mr. Pandey at Karanzalam. Within a week in the late evening, police jeeps comes in my house in search of Mr. Pandey and whisked him away in the middle of the night. Later on, I came to know he was one of the Satyagrahis who was repatriated to India through the good office of Father Carreno, a persona grata between India, Portugal or Nehru Salazar. After leaving Don Bosco, although I was not in good studies, yet I did my BSc in Mathematics of Bombay University, followed by a degree in Mechanical Engineering in Tamil Nadu, now they call it Chennai, Madras. I retired from active service after working on various transhippers in the port of Marmagua as a plant engineer. At the same time, I was a visiting faculty to IMS, Institute of Maritime Studies, Vasco, ISBT, Institute of Shipbuilding Technology, Vasco. Now, besides visiting faculty to various high secondary schools, technical institutions, I am conducting mathematics classes from 10th to degree level, competitive exams and technical subjects in mechanical engineering under the banner Guidance Classes. My social activities beside belonging to the Association of the Past People of Don Bosco, which was founded through the painstaking efforts of Mr. Luis Fernandez and late Mr. Agnello Mendonça. I am also actively associated with the Senior Citizen Forum of St. Andrew's Church, Vasco, which instituted an annual felicitation program by giving prizes for successful SSC students of our parish in commemoration of Don Bosco's bicentenary of birth and visit of Don Bosco relic to our church. Now our Don Bosco institution is completing 75 years existence, which has modeled the character of various youths and is continuing to do so. I have no doubt this good work of Don Bosco institution will continue, and they will definitely penetrate the mind, the spirit of Don Bosco throughout the dark corners of India in general and in Goa in particular. Thank you. Viva Goa, Viva Don Bosco, Viva India.